downside instead is that the price that we can collect is lower than the average variable cost. And then the advice would be shut down. So shut down the business, close the business, if you cannot even cover the costs you create while operating. So variable is the relevant thing to look at. If you cannot cover your variable costs, you probably also have some fixed costs. Even you're not covering that either, stop operating. Instead, if you're on the left-hand side, I'm just saying that the price covers your variable costs that you create while operating. And in fact, it covers some of your fixed costs also. Because you guys told me, you already know that the difference, the vertical distance between those two curves is always the average fixed cost, right? The per unit fixed cost. So when you go to Q star, this distance starts here and goes all the way to there. Are you with me? All the way to down there. So the average fixed cost, your per unit of goods produced, per unit rent, per sandwich rent, is higher than your per unit loss. So if you were to operate, what we're saying here is you're covering some of your fixed costs. Some of your variable costs and all of your fixed costs. Okay, so you're covering more than you're certainly covering all of your variable costs and some of your fixed costs. All of your variable costs, because the price is above the average variable cost, and some of your fixed. So you're covering this part of the fixed, this lower part. That's what we're saying. We are covering that because the price is above that point. So operate, because it's something like, imagine this, you have a rent of $500, and if you operate, if you don't operate at all, you still have to pay $500. But you operate and you end up with losses overall that are like $300 overall, including the cost of rent in there. So if your overall losses are $200 or $300, that's less than your total fixed cost, so operate, you see? So the condition is operate with loss as long as the price covers your variable costs. Shut down if the price does not cover that. Sometimes we look at this condition this way, other times we would just say multiply by Q both sides. So you would say that total revenue is smaller than total variable cost, then you do what? You shut down. So what's your shutdown price? You're going to shut down if your price is how low? P2. If the price is at P2, this is when you would shut down. Therefore, P2 is your shutdown price. For any price lower than P2, you would shut down. Summary. By the way, these are the nice graphs that you guys have from me. And the handout you have from me. The 4 pages, side by side. And profits if the price is higher than P1. Losses if the price is lower than P1. If the price is lower than P2, stop operating, shut down, because the shutdown price is P2. And price P1 is the break-even price. Yes? 4 cases all together, side by side. Any questions? And then you have a copy, you have this page from me too, and you now really understand what the shutdown point really is, the minimum of the average variable cost, right? So if the price is any lower than that average variable cost value, the firm should shut down. So that's the shutdown point, therefore, for short run. And you have this picture as well from me. You have this page. Yeah. Are we okay? You're talking. Questions for me? Please be quiet. Let's do an application. I need you to be a bit more quiet, please, friends. Should the firm continue operating? So I'm giving you total revenue value and total variable cost value. We already discussed how it works, right? What's important? We want the firm to continue producing if it covers all its total variable costs. So firms should shut down only if the price is smaller than the average variable cost, or equivalently, total revenue smaller than total variable cost. So you're given this. What should the firm do? Operate or shut down? Operate. Why? Because total revenue is higher clearly than the total variable cost. 15,000 is higher than 10,000. Case number 2 that I want you to consider, and these are all independent. So what if the total revenue is 10,000 and the total cost is 12,000 and total fixed cost is 1,000? Now what? What do you want to do? You want to calculate total variable cost. Total variable cost is total cost minus total fixed cost. That is 11,000. 11,000. And now you want to compare the total variable cost with the total revenue and figure out which one is larger. So you find that total variable cost is higher than total revenue, therefore shut down. Good. Case 3. Independent cases, as I said. Total revenue, 10,000. Average variable cost, $12. Quantity, 1,000. Now what? One is given in total terms, the other ones are given in average. Okay, so you have to transition, and thankfully you're given the quantity, so you could transition. So, can you transition? What's the easiest way? Can you, how would you do it? Give us your idea. Yes? Yes, you can easily get total variable cost by multiplying the $12 times 1,000. That gives you the total variable cost, 12,000. And you notice that therefore 12,000 is higher than 10,000, so shut down. Total variable cost is 12,000, that is higher than 10,000, therefore shut down. You got it. Case 4. Average fixed cost is 4. Total revenue is 12,000. Total cost equals to 14,000. Now what? Should this firm operate or shut down? We can see that the total revenue is less than total cost. Okay? We can see that, we can see losses. But that's not enough. Because it could be a situation situation like this, right? Losses, but question is how big they are. So we need to know how high the fixed cost is. Can we find out how high total fixed cost is? We have average fixed cost. Do we have total? Can we answer the question? No. What do we need to answer the question? Quantity. We would need quantity to answer this question. So we cannot answer this question. If we had quantity, we could. If we had quantity or total fixed cost, of course, we could. Okay, we got it. Any questions? So I would just say no answer because we don't have an answer. We need Q. All right. The next topic after break-even price and shutdown price is the firm supply and then the industry supply. So I'm going to continue with those two. Okay, friends? Firm supply, current, and industry supply. So, let's see what's up. It's kind of neat stuff here. Just pay attention. All of these things are so neat, I think. You have a lot of graphs from me, so pay lots of attention. That's better. Let me remind you what's going on in the competitive industry. And how the firm makes the decisions. So, at the industry level, we have an aggregate supply and we have an aggregate demand, and that is at the industry, the competitive industry, like the market for corn in Wisconsin, right? Thinking about our demand, aggregate demand for corn in this market, price for corn, quantity for corn. And this is the aggregate supply coming from all possible producers, lots of producers. That's the story of the industry. Downward sloping demand for the industry's demand. Yes, downward sloping for the industry as a whole, the market as a whole. And together with the supply, they determine this price, P star, or maybe P1 star. And this price becomes a very important price because that's the price that corn producers can sell a bushel of corn. So this P1 star becomes the marginal revenue curve, average revenue curve for any firm, competitive firm. So the competitive firm says, what's the price I can sell my good at? I'm a price-taking firm. This price is given to me. Here it is. It's P1 star. That becomes my marginal revenue, average revenue curve. I have no control over that. It's given to me. Then I bring in my marginal cost. Here it is. And I decide how much to produce given this price and given my marginal cost structure, so I pick that Q star. And then I can also decide if I have profits or losses, if I'm going to break even or if I'm going to shut down and all this wonderful stuff. But in the process of doing that, this is what really happened, or I want us to put this. It is these two curves, the industry demand and the industry supply, and their intersection, that are going to give us the P1. They're going to give us this MR1. But the industry as a whole could change, like maybe we had too much rain and a lot of corn was destroyed in Wisconsin. So if the weather was bad, then we have a decrease in supply. So it's possible that the supply just shifted that way, and it's possible that at the industry level now, a new price evolves that is actually higher. So we have now P2 star, that's a new price. And it's a higher price because of the bad weather, and we have a decrease in supply. Remember chapter 3? An upward shift in the supply, a decrease in the supply. So we have a new price, this new price, P2. Again, this is the new price. The firm is going to say, oh, okay, now I can charge this higher price. So this is now the P2 star I could charge. The market has changed. That becomes my new average revenue. marginal revenue curve. Okay? So that's, okay, it's not, okay, I should get rid of the stars. It's okay, because they're not equilibrium. The equilibrium price is coming from the industry, but now for the firm, they're just the price that you charge. So we get this new price, so I have a new revenue curve, the pink one, because the supply has shifted and we have this new price. And my marginal cost hasn't changed, so I'm going to consult with my marginal cost curve and look for the new intersection, and I'm going to say I'm not producing Q1 star anymore, I'm going to be producing Q2 star now. So my equilibrium changes. So notice what's happening. The price comes from the industry, the price taking firm takes it as given, that's it. That becomes the marginal revenue curve, average revenue curve for the firm. And then the firm says, I am going to find the intersection of that curve with my marginal cost, and that will give me the quantity of the use. And I can change this once more. Maybe demand has increased or decreased, and I have a new price. Maybe demand, people don't like corn as much, so it fell because they are substituting away for potatoes or rice or something else. So then you could have like a lower price, of course, lower or higher. Again, it's determined, the price is determined at the market, at the industry. And that price could be lower, yes, it could be lower, but notice the process is always the same. The firm is going to say, oh, okay, I have therefore a new average revenue, marginal revenue curve, 3. And it is this new curve that's relevant. I'm going to look at the intersection of that marginal revenue and my marginal cost, and I'm going to decide on my Q3 this way. So notice that what I'm doing each time is I'm taking the marginal cost curve as kind of given and solid. And I'm saying, what's the price? Maybe it's P1, maybe it's P2, maybe it's P3. And it's the marginal cost curve that tells me exactly the quantities that are going to be produced. So notice that the marginal cost curve acts like what? A supply curve. Yes, it acts very much like a supply curve. The marginal cost curve we have up here acts very much like a supply curve. Chapter 3, supply. What is it? It's the curve that really tells us at different prices what's the quantity supplied. At different prices, what's the quantity supplied. At different prices, what's the quantity supplied. That's the definition of a supply curve. And that's exactly how the marginal cost curve for the competitive firm acts when it comes down to deciding the equilibrium quantity they would produce. They say, what's the price I can charge? The pink, the green, the blue? Is it P1, P2, P3? Which one? And I have to make it equal to my marginal cost curve. So my marginal cost is super important. And I stop when I find my marginal cost because I said marginal revenue equals marginal cost each time. That gives me the quantity. So it acts like a supply curve. So I'm going to say marginal cost equals supply for the firm. So the marginal cost curve is the supply curve for the firm. Is it clear? And my next question is, all of it? Would all of my marginal cost be a supply curve for the firm? We understand that it very much acts like a supply, but when we think about marginal cost, we know a lot about this trend. We also know that it's being intersected by an average variable cost and an average cost curve. And yes, marginal cost acts like a supply curve. And my question again is, all of my marginal cost curve a supply curve? Or are some parts of it for which I would not be supplying given the price, right? Because it acts like a supply because it says at this price I will supply this quantity. This, yes, I will supply this. That, yes, I will supply that. Do I always supply? No. Sometimes I shut down. At which price do I shut down? At the minimum of the average variable cost. So it's only this part of the marginal cost curve that is a supply curve. So I made it green, and it's only the green part of the marginal cost. So I have to go until the shutdown point, until the minimum of the average variable cost, if I want to consider the supply curve for the firm. Yes? Ooh, neat. Yes? Okay. Here's firm one. Marginal cost one, average cost one, average variable cost. And here's firm two. And average variable cost. Questions for me? So I'm graphing cost structures for different firms. Obviously they're not the same. We're talking about different firms. Average cost 2, average variable cost 2, marginal cost 2. Here's another one. Marginal cost 3. Now we have average variable cost 3, average cost 3. Okay, let's label all my axes to be right. At least put one down so I know what I'm measuring. So quantity for firm 1, quantity for firm 2, quantity for firm 3. So similarly, I can think about thousands of different firms belonging, or hundreds at least, of different firms producing corn in this competitive industry. And each one of them has this cost structure. Then I can also consider the part of the marginal cost that's above the minimum of the average variable cost for each one. Okay, so I can consider S1, and I can consider supply for firm 2 and supply for firm 3. So it's it's part of their marginal cost curve each time. It's part of it, the part that I'm marking. Each competitive firm has a different firm supply, which is part of the marginal cost curve above the shutdown point, right? And if I want to consider the industry supply, the overall industry supply in this industry, competitive industry, for corn, what do I need to do? What does this mean? What do I do if I have 3 here, but I would have 333? I like 3, it's a lucky number for me. 13, I was in school 13 forever, like elementary school and all that, so. And it was a lucky number for me. So if we have 333 firms, a competitive firm, just like instead of just 3, how do we figure out the industry supply from these individual firm supplies? Well, what do we do? What should we do for the industry supply? Add them. How? Horizontally. Add them horizontally. And if we add